vaccination. This is in the 50s, and gave him that, and he said he literally had to take him outside and watch him shit, and literally just shit worms. And because, I mean, all of us, whether people want to admit it or not, we like to think we're more than animals, but we're not. We're animals. We're just like every other animal on this planet, and we're loaded with parasites. And the only reason in the United States we're not is because our water's clean, and most of our food is clean, and we do get our vaccinations from the time we're born. And, and if we do have parasites, normally doctors do catch it, and we get treated for it. So.
Oh my God. My uncle is probably telling me a lie, but I'll run it by you. He claims that he was a merchant marine and he went to India, and he said that they deworm by putting a glass of milk on a table, and they lay down and the tapeworm comes out of their butt. I don't believe that story.
Wouldn't it be blood? Wouldn't the worm be more attracted to blood than milk?
I would think so. That was his story, and I guess he wanted me to believe it. I don't know.
Well, there's all sorts of old shit. You ever hear about the snow snake from Korea?
No.
Everybody, there was the whole joke about all the guys in the frozen chosen in Korea. A lot of guys died from the snow snake. They'd go to dig a dig a hole to take a shit, and then a snake would go right up their ass and get them or whatever. Or my grandfather was on ship, in World War II, and there was, hazing, like, you ever hear of Wong Day?
Yeah.
When you cross the equator.
Yeah.
Well, they would have something else called a sea bat, and that was just a trick they played on guys, who just got on board a ship. They'd, have a bucket over here in the corner, and they'd be like, "Come on over here, we caught a sea bat. You got to come over here and see it." And so they'd run over there, and they'd look in the bucket, and as they're bent over there looking in the bucket, somebody'd be behind them with a fucking broomstick and whale right in the ass, and they'd be like, "Sea bat." Or in the Marine Corps, we had a bad one. We had it was called the atomic push-up, or the atomic sit-up rather. The atomic sit-up was nasty, and it was when we were out in the field together. After about 3-4 days out in the field with nothing but like canteen washes, you got pretty gnarly with your body, your BO, and all that stuff, right? Shit in the field, and so you get a lot of gung-ho Marines that think that they can break things with their arms, their head, whatever, right? And so we get the real hard-headed ones that are like, "I bet you can't break a broomstick with your forehead, right?" And inevitably you get one idiot that thinks he can do it, and they're like, and it's like, "Hold it up, I'll do it." Like, no. We bet you can't break a broomstick with your forehead while doing a sit-up. And then you get one idiot, he's like, "I can do it. All right, so get in the sit-up position. Two guys lean over him and hold this broomstick up, and they get him to where they're like, "All right, now do your sit-up and line yourself up. All right, your head's going to hit right around here. All right, now we've got to cover your eyes so you don't hurt your eyes when you do it, right?" Now, as soon as he covers his eyes, they move that stick out of the way, and the nastiest, dirtiest Marine there stands over him, drops his drawers, and puts his asshole right there. And as soon as that guy does the sit-up, his nose goes right into that guy's ass.
Oh,
and that's the atomic sit-up.
Oh, Jesus. In the military, they always come up with so much shit. Oh my God.
That's why the Jackass stuff kind of cracked me up, because everything they were doing in Jackass, we had already done it in the military. Like, knocking open porta potties. When we were in the field, they had like 2 or 3 porta potties out there, but nobody used them. Because you got to be an idiot if you jump in one of those, because as soon as somebody jumped into them, we'd knock them the fuck over. And you'd be sitting in there shitting, and this whole thing tips over, all that shit and fluid and everything. Oh, you just take a bath in it. Oh man, they were the worst.
I went into the Army in 1973, and I took my basic at Fort Ord, California. And we had this one fat guy. I mean, when we're running, if he fell, everybody fell. It was just like a domino effect. And this drill sergeant just got really tired of it and would actually make him go into a puddle of mud and tell him to squeal like a pig, just like out of Deliverance. And would just humiliate him and just mud all over and everything else. It was horrible.
Yeah, they were pretty mean back then.
Yep, they were mean.
What's up, Zandine? Hello, Charlotte.
Hey, Zandine. Hey, Charlotte.
How you doing? Took me a minute. I apologize.
We can barely hear you, and we can't see you.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on there. Hang on, I'm trying to get clearance.
Could you hear that, Paul?
Yeah, not too good, but yeah.
Hang on. Let's try this again.
I don't understand what she's saying, Paul.
No, Charlotte, what's going on?
We don't want that camera.
I think Charlotte's. What's that?
I don't know why the camera's not working. It should be working.
Huh.
It's telling me that it's not reading the camera.
Oh, okay.
Now I'm trying to figure out why. It should be.
Huh.
Is there a little icon at the bottom of the screen that's?
Let me try something real quick. I want to make sure the camera's working because maybe something's up with the camera. Hang on. Let me pop in here. Sorry about this. I mean, this has never happened before.
No worries.
I'm going in the restart right now to see if my camera's working. Just to make sure it's not the camera. But this don't be sensitive.
Are you on your phone or on a computer?
I'm on my laptop. It should be working. I always it works fine with Restream and everything else I use. So it should be working.
On the bottom of your screen, do you see 3 icons: a microphone, a camera, and a phone?